Okay, we are waiting for President Trump to sign a new executive order in the Oval Office that will be designed to fuel DOGE and to ensure that it can take action under these executive orders. Some of his efforts to slash spending have seen pushback from courts in New Hampshire and in Boston, including a ruling from a federal judge on the president's buyout offer to roughly 2 million federal workers. It includes full pay and benefits through September. So with that, we bring in Alina Habba, counselor to President Trump. Alina, great to have you with us today. We have watched you battle fiercely on the president's behalf in the New York courts. And now this issue of whether or not, as the president of the United States, he has the power to decide to offer people a way to go home and get paid for 8 months and to leave their federal jobs. There's pushback in the court to that. How do you see it, Alina?
One important thing, the reason that we're doing that is because these individuals haven't come to work on the taxpayer dollars. And the request was, please come to work. And if you do not want to, here's a buyout. Yeah. How horrible is that? I guess we should all be in an uproar and frantically panicking here. I mean, unfortunately, I thought the lawfare was going to stop when we got in here and won in November 5th in a sweeping mandate from the 77 million Americans that were tired of the last administration, but it has not. All we've seen is these radical left judges who maybe should have run for president themselves if they wanted to act like a president, trying to take action against DOGE, against Bessent, and not allow him to do what he needs to do in Treasury, and ridiculous things, the USAID, it goes on and on and on. So yes, we will be back in court. We will be fighting. We will be appealing. But lucky for us, this team knows it way too well. Yeah,
you mentioned Scott Bessent. And, you know, there's one order from a judge that would make it so that he cannot even open the books at the Treasury to take a look at waste and fraud in that agency. How is that possible that the Secretary of the Treasury would not be able to go into the books of his own agency?
Yes, a man that was confirmed as Secretary of the Treasury, who answered tough questions, who went through the vetting process, who was appointed and confirmed, and now he can't do his job. That's called a violation of something I'd like to call the separation of powers. It's a really novel idea, but our founding fathers created a document, the Constitution. There's a separation of powers for a reason. The executive branch is the ultimate authority on federal issues, and we have rogue judges who are trying to stop members like DOGE team, Bessent, from doing their job. And that's to protect taxpayer dollars, to look at what we're doing with spending, and to run the federal government under President Trump.
So here's what J.D. Vance posted about this to try to explain to people the separation of powers that you just mentioned, Alina. He says, if a judge tried to tell a general how to conduct a military operation, that would be illegal. If a judge tried to command the attorney general in how to use her discretion as a prosecutor, that's also illegal. Judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power. Now, Ted Lieu, representative from California, pushed back on this. Watch what he had to say.
Every president, including Donald Trump in his first term, complied with court orders. If this administration is going to start ignoring court orders, they're essentially eliminating entire judicial branch, because why even have judges if you're not going to follow their court orders? So we expect this administration to follow the court orders. And then what J.D. Vance said was just clearly insane. If he really wants to eliminate the third branch of government, I think there's going to be enormous pushback from both Republicans and Democrats.
What's your legal take on these arguments, Alina?
What a spin, Martha. What a spin. That guy should get a degree in spinning. Number one, he's probably not a lawyer, because that made zero sense to me. Number two, JD never said that he wanted to eliminate the judicial branch. What he said is you have to respect the executive branch. And that is the branch that President Donald Trump runs. And he is running it. He is it. And he has to be able to do his job. So maybe that gentleman should link up with Chuck Schumer, Letitia James, Maxine Waters, and some of these other radical lefts that did not get the memo from American people on November 5th. We don't want your agenda. Let President Trump do what he does. He's got approval ratings through the roof right now. Everybody's happy with what we're doing, and we're working hard to save America. So, that gentleman clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
I mean, the approval numbers are higher for President Trump than they were at any point during the first term. And we see these are CBS polls that show that that people are glad that he's doing what he's doing. So politically, this is a difficult road for Democrats to go down. Here's one more that I wanted to get your take on. FEMA is halting payments to house migrants in New York City hotels after it was disclosed that somehow they managed to spend $59 million on New York hotel rooms to house migrants, Alina. I'm not sure how they even came up with that dollar figure.
That's right. That's right. So what happened was they pushed out $59 million just last week, despite the executive orders, despite the clear mandate that President Trump has implemented. We are no longer doing this. We are no longer going to have sanctuary cities. Eric Adams has spoken out about it, and look what happened to him. They tried to punish him and persecute him like President Trump. Look, we're not doing it. And that female that had actually taken part in that is now terminated. So that's the way we're going to operate. You're going to mess with us. You'll find out how it goes, and it's only going to go one. There's no spot for you here if you're not going to be on this agenda and putting American taxpayer dollars to use in the right way.
Alina Habba, thank you very much. Counselor to the president. Always good to see you. Get inside.
Good to see you.
Snow's coming down pretty hard down there.
Yes.
Thank you, Alina. We'll see you soon.